Good morning. Yep, wake up. All right. Gonna have some fun. First off, Doug, you guys are killing it. You guys are doing so well, and particularly, let's all give him a big clapping and thank you to him and Avelina for what you guys are doing. And it's fun to be the first speaker, and the thing that I'm really excited about is that we're going to do a quick overview in 30 minutes about what's happening in Mexico mining and exploration. Now, come on, we have a 3-day conference. How are we going to do that in just a quick amount of time? And so I think basically what we really have to say is that when we're going to do this, we have to be forward-looking, thinking about the future, optimistic about what could happen. Recently in January was the conference in Vancouver, the Roundup. At that conference, there was lots of activity and enthusiasm, but really, was it all for Mexico? What's happening? This year in Toronto at the PDAC, it was also very interesting. The floor space was expanded. Our booth has moved until we were very small, but now it's expanded again. The market's really coming back. It follows pretty much the gold price, and what you see is that as gold price started to move up, also the attendance started to go up, the financings, and so we have seen things really progressing. But are those progressing in all commodities? One of the key things is it's really about gold. Much of the financing and the money is going into gold. Also copper and silver. Over 55% is just in those three elements. And what's happening? We hear all this talk about battery metals. We hear all this talk about lithium and cobalt, but it's very small if you look at what's really happening in financing. Here in Mexico, we're very excited about things happening and going, but overall the market hasn't really accelerated beyond where it has been in the past. It started to go up again in the productivity. But what's happening in Mexico? In Mexico, we used to be at the top. The Fraser Institute used to have us in the top 10. We have begun to slip. Why are we slipping in Mexico? We're in the middle. We're now compared with Botswana. We're now down there compared with Russia at 50th percentile. Who are the top 10? Countries like Finland, countries Saskatchewan and Nevada, other states that are very popular. Nevada, in fact, right now Klondex was recently purchased by Hecla. Hecla's opened the mine here in Mexico, but they've actually now expanded in Nevada with a $460 million buyout. Grassroots exploration, but again, it's going to Nevada. People are really going there. Another Mexican producer, and they've actually bought Rye Patch, again in Nevada. So yes, we're here in Mexico with enthusiasm, Lundin Mining, but they've also gone to Ecuador. So these other places are eating our lunch. We're here for breakfast. Come on, guys. We want to beat Australia. Australia's taking off and getting lots of investment. Novo Resources took off with the new discovery. What's happening for us here in Mexico? What is our new key discoveries we have going? You look in Argentina, the Salar and the amount of money that's going there is really taken off. Mexico used to be in the top. I think we can get back at it. Right now we have some key opportunities with the elections, with things happening. Right now, the message is we have a chance to make a difference and reverse what's been happening. Right now, Canada is taking over. Many companies used to be here. Now they've gone back to Canada. So what can we do? We look at who is distributing the money. Where is the capital markets coming from? The capital market that comes, these are Canadian institutions. They're ranking. They're throwing away the interest in Mexico recently. We can make a difference in Mexico. In Mexico, we can look at the perceived policies. What is happening in Mexico? Mexico has slipped below the 50th percentile in the perception of working in Mexico. This is the Fraser Institute. It's 200 companies, CEOs, and other people that are working in the industry are given where do they wish to work and what are their perceptions. Their perception in the Fraser Institute is that Mexico has slipped down there, is now compared with other M countries like Morocco and Mali. It's now down there compared with Argentina. We're largely at least being able to beat Greenland. We're able to beat Russia. But come on, guys. What is it about that? 4 key things for this talk that we can all speak to our governors, speak to the people in the government, take the opportunity. You here are the leaders in the Mexican mining industry. You're driving exploration, driving discovery. We can help them realize that the cancellation process must happen quickly. So when you speak and have a chance to meet with any of the people in the government, whether it's at the state level or at the federal level, you can make this point to them that if there are cancellations, there can be more discoveries. If there are libertades, there's thousands of unliberated claims. You know this. The action we can take is to speak. This morning, I sent an email to Claudia Ibarra. This afternoon, I'll be trying to speak with Mario Cantu. Who here is going to Chihuahua in 2 weeks? Globe Explorer is going to be there. Who else is going to be there? Raise your hand if you're going to be there. In the back, you guys. So I make a request. The government will be there. I can't be there. Why can I not be there? Is I have to go and look for money. As a CEO, I have to try to find money. And honestly, it's becoming more difficult. I used to be able to get partners. We lost $25 million in capital we could not spend because we could not get the titles. We actually had the money authorized, but without the title, we could not do the drilling, as you know. So, when you speak with the government, the action you can do is say, look, guys, you grant titles, you'll make more money. The governors are so excited in Mexico. So there's a great opportunity to do that. The taxes, we can release the IVA, explaining that by releasing the IVA, it can get the capital to come back. It can get the capital to flow. These 4 items, simply put, are 4 actions that you can do here in Mexico. You guys are the leaders, the key people. You didn't get up at 8 to be here at 9 to not know what to do. You guys knew what to do. What we can do as a group is we can do these things. We have a voice, your voice, our voice together. We can push these issues. Come on, guys. We used to be in the top 10. We have been out here for 20, 30 years. Joey brought me down here to do work. I've been out here with Jim. I've been out here with Wolf. I've been here with all of you. Dave, you've been here. We've all been doing this, guys. We can make a difference. It's not acceptable to be middle of the road. We're better than that. We're overachievers. These are the candidates. We have a chance to communicate with them. Yes, this isn't a typical geological talk because we're committed. We're committed to making a difference for Mexico. The elections are here. People are saying, wait and see, and then you'll talk to them. Come on. Once they're chosen, then everyone goes and talks to them. So this is the opportunity this week and this month to talk to the candidates, to communicate to the governors. We have a great governor here in Sonora. She's wonderful. She's so super. She's so keen on this. The governor in Chihuahua, Durango, they all went to the conference in Toronto. They all attended the PDAC. They're all there saying these different things. Well, call them on it. Ask them those 4 questions. Can they make cancellations? Can they make libertades? Can they get us titles? Can they return the IVA? Those 4 things will help us all get the money back, to get that perception to be at least in the upper half. We don't want to be compared with Mali and Morocco. Come on, guys. We want to be the leader that Mexico can be. The maquiladoras. Trump is actually now putting pressure on us that, in fact, you go and look, the Ford plant and other plants, they aren't being built in Mexico. They're actually, NAFTA's being threatened. These things we don't see as affecting us, but they do. They affect the capital. What we can do is, by changing the perception, and you guys are the leaders, we are the leaders, we really have to work on this. Safety is a serious perception. Trying to work in certain parts of Mexico smears all of Mexico. Explaining. I go to schools. How many of you go to schools and talk to students? I go to schools and say, how many of you have gone to Mexico on vacation? They all raise their hands. I go, you all go to Mexico on vacation, and yet it's difficult to get people to come here to want to invest money because of the safety. The perception of safety is it's fine to go to the beaches, but it's really important to explain the value in Sonora, the value in Chihuahua, the value of these regions. It's not all the same, and there's great opportunity here in Mexico. But what's been happening for Torex is about community and working with communities, and you guys know how to do that. So us knowing the facts and communicating is a great opportunity. The perception is that it's slipped, but the reality is it doesn't have to. There isn't a reason. Mexico is the great place to work. It has the great potential. It has the deposits and the discoveries. We have a 3-day conference here. Doug and Adeline and the whole team have put together a fabulous conference, and we are the leaders, and there's a great chance to change this. The government is trying to do work. They have lots of spurring investment efforts. The databases are there. So we can use innovation. Some of the innovation that we're currently using is drone technology. This drone technology is allowing for looking and visualizing and seeing, and we're using this in our exploration. This new technology is able to be done here. These new technologies can make a difference. The deep drilling that's happening here is amazing. We're drilling as deep as they're drilling in Canada, drilling 2,000-meter holes. We're doing the innovation stuff. It's really cool. Guys, we have the technology here. We know how to do it. Our perception should be back there in the reality of how great it is to work in Mexico. We have the deposits. We have the skies. You know, Ecuador is the size of the state of Sonora. And yet, it had $200 million went into one company. One company had to hire 200 geologists to do exploration for one company. It's going there. Doesn't have to. There are major companies here at this conference. The gold miners, Agnico Eagle is here, and Alamos, and get the perception from them. You have the chance today and tomorrow to talk to them. The perception, they're working here. It's exciting. It's great. Agnico's got at least 12 people here at this conference. That's fabulous. It's terrific. There is a great opportunity here. What we have to do is grasp that opportunity, communicate it more broadly. Get that people to realize the people do look at that Fraser Institute. The investment capital is there. The market has come back. The money is flowing, but it needs to come here to Mexico. It can. Mexico can be back at the top by doing those different things, by telling them about cancellations, telling them about libertades, telling them about taxes, telling them that we need titles. You'll have the chance to do that. When they say give a speech, tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them again. I don't want to be too dogmatic, but it is that simple message we can make can do that. The silver miners are here. But Fortuna Silver, where did they go buy? They went and bought in Argentina. Hecla, what did they do? They went and bought in Nevada. Grupo Mexico, they're working in Spain. Bulk commodities. What's happening in that? You know, ArcelorMittal, they're here. They're trying to work in steel here. Go to Malongo. They're really doing well at Minera Atlan. Super companies. So I was with the head of director of Minera Atlan at the PDAC. They also want to see investment, want this. We as leaders can do that. We have this great link. Many of us are Canadian, can bring that capital and that perception. We can go back and forth. We really have that opportunity. We are the potential voice. I'm very excited by this opportunity that we have. Right now with the elections, with this new change, with this new opportunity, we can make a big difference. It's very important for us to grasp that. We can see this chance that we can do that. The energy metals, cobalt, lithium, are present in Mexico. People can jump onto those things. You can see those happening. Yet, you see them running around and going to other places to do that more rapidly. They could be doing that here and doing that type of work. The miners, when you talk to the miners, some of the key things they really need to focus on. So if someone asks you, trying to help you, so when people ask you, what can I do? You can explain that the accounting rules are not favoring investment. You can say, look, talk to KPMG, talk to Price Waterhouse. You don't have to be an expert, but you can point out that the accounting rules that are currently structured in Mexico are not as favorable as other places on the planet. Secondly, is the taxes, the way the taxes are being done. The governors of the states want mines because they want that royalty. Super, we want to work with the royalty. The taxes need to be in a way that's discounted, that's competitive. If you're not competitive, the capital doesn't come. Canada is very aggressive in supporting on a tax-efficient basis. Thus, the capital likes to go there. We're all working here. We're all trying to do a lot of work here. But if we look around us, many of us have been here a long time. The new people aren't necessarily coming because the security, because the permitting, the unions and community are some of the key aspects that we need to know about and be able to explain to the potential investors, to our potential partners, to our owners. It's great to get that paycheck. To get that paycheck to grow and to continue, we need to expand. We need to show expansion. We need to be able to show that we can have access to these properties. By doing that, we can be a leader again. Mexico has been the high country, very high in the perception, can be back there. It really has that. One way it can do that is with a new discovery. In gold, the Cerro Cecilia project. It's the Cerro Magallanes. Riverside owns this now. We've been able to consolidate it. These type of projects are fabulous. Good grade. We have 3-ounce gold. Very large systems. We have 6,000 hectares. Big systems here. Good potential to make those discoveries. Can we get those titles quickly to drill? The money is there. We have new discoveries. Making the discoveries here at the Tajitos project. Riverside's been working here. We had to sue the government to get the titles, but we got them. That's not necessarily the best way to do that, but now we have the title. We can now move it ahead. Yesterday, I was on a thesis defense. Maybe some of you saw me outside sitting at a table there. I was attending a thesis defense via Skype. We have the technologies to interact and work about these projects. The Canadian government funded the thesis here in Mexico on the Tajitos project. They want to do it. We have the resources here. This is going to be a mine. Pedro Herrera isn't here today. He had to run up to Caborca last night because we're buying the ranch today. That's the type of action we can do. You can buy things. You can make a difference here. Mexico is the best place to work, guys. It is the best. For copper, La Caridad, the discovery from a stream sediment sample in 1975 has been going. Now, Riverside has a project near this. We look at the demand for copper right now. Tesla cars. What's happening now, the electrification is really driving copper. Copper currently is only at $3 a pound. It's going up. It's going up. We have it. Joey gave a great talk yesterday about the porphyry copper that they're finding at Cervantes, and other people are coming up with great things. Copper is going up. The electricity is happening. So much is driving. Mexico has it. We actually have been able to put together a portfolio of copper assets as well. We've been planning. We've been ready for this. We've been working. During the downturn times, Riverside was acquiring those key assets. We took that database that was out of the SGM and from Riverside, put it together to acquire. We put these together, and we have 100% owned. We actually have the title. We were able to get the title. So important. We have to go to the government daily to try to talk to them to get it, but we can show our partners so we can go and get that capital. Maybe that's not the way that you have to do it in other places. Other places, you just stake it, you get the title, but we could be back there again by pushing those 4 items. We have the copper. Easy, safe access that you can drive up to actually drive up and drill porphyry copper targets. We don't have to do a desalinization plant and pump the water to 3,000 meters like you do in Chile. You don't have to replace a community like you have to do in Peru. We have great potential here in Mexico, great projects. Right in the middle of this Laramide porphyry copper belt, coming straight down from Arizona. The Thor project is a tilted porphyry copper system. Hello, guys. In Arizona, all the faults are all the deposits are all tilted. But here in Mexico, they're all upright. That didn't make a lot of sense, did it? Well, in fact, we've done the work and found that they're tilted systems. We have a lot of faults there. They're dismembered porphyry copper systems. These type of systems are just amazing, and Riverside owns these. Riverside has a project 30 kilometers from La Caridad, the Ariel porphyry copper system. Here, a very large porphyry copper, very few drill holes here at all. We have undrilled leach caps, undrilled mineralized systems. It's amazing you can have this. Mexico has been so under-drilled, it's phenomenal. Even though Globe Explorer is drilling millions of meters a year, there's still a lot more to drill, and it's great. We have these systems in Riverside. You guys do as well, and there's great potential. We need to change the perception, and we can. We can get the capital to come back. It's so much easier to work here than it is really trying to work in Argentina. If you think of trying to work in Mendoza, you try to work in these places, Salta, the distance to the coast versus the distance from here to Guaymas on paved roads and infrastructure is phenomenal. Mexico has the great potential. This type of project, where you have the right type of alunites and alterations, where you have the right type of laramide porphyry, where you have the right type of tourmaline, you have quartz breccias, you have turquoise mines, you have copper, you have all these things at the Ariel project, yet no drill holes. It's phenomenal. Private ranch land, going and working with the ranch owners to get access, so important. It takes a team. Here in Mexico, you can do that. We can even work with the ejidos and make it work. It's really good to work here, honestly. It's a great place. And we like working here. We have to change the perception, and the money should be here. The boom that's happening in Colombia again, the boom that's happening in these other places, it should all be coming here. So when Fraser Institute comes out with these surveys and Mexico continually has been slipping, I decided today's talk wasn't going to be just a series of alteration slides and discussions of high sulfidation alteration and through a porphyry, but to try to all of us to say, hey guys, look, we can really make a difference. We are the leaders. We've been working so hard. When people come to work in Mexico, they're going to call you. They're going to ask you, how is it to work in Mexico? And you'll know these are the 4 things we're working on. Any one of those 4 makes such a difference. We know these are the challenges the miners are facing, and yet we still have the fastest time to develop mines. Who here has recently driven from Hermosillo or from Imuris across to Cananea? When you do that, there are these large open pits. Those large open pits are from after large copper mines. Those were copper projects when Wolf and I did our PhDs at Arizona. They were just projects. They're now been mined, operated, and they're actually now being completed. Talk about speed and development. I think we beat the planet. So the perception is wrong. We do have the greatest country. The greatest place to work is here in Mexico. The ability to develop mines, forward them, progress them, environmentally sensitive. Even when we have environmental disasters, we take care of them and work them up. Mexico is a great place to work, but the perception, other people's perception, becomes your reality. So we can change our reality by changing their perception. Mexico can be back developing those copper deposits, can be back drilling these type of great copper projects. How many leach caps, how many oxidized caps can you walk out to like that don't have any drill roads? Riverside's worked for years to get the very best projects, and we have them. We look forward to working with you on those type of projects, and other people are doing it. It's phenomenal. Kootenai Resources, the discoveries that they've made, Silver Standard, Pan American, all you guys are making so much. At the end of the day, Phil's going to give a talk, and it's awesome. I love it. It's one of my favorite talks of the year. This is a huge altered system with no drill roads. A fault right down the middle of it. A cross-section will go right across this. What we actually have is a laramide porphyry system that's tilted. It's rotated. Across this fault, we have an undrilled porphyry copper target right there, ready to go. We had to wait 4 years for title. We actually had the money in year 1. We had the money in year 2. The money disappeared in year 3. We got the title. It was too late. Kind of like going to a party. Great to get to the party and to see all the cups of beer and the kegs empty. Not much fun. Come on, guys. We can make these discoveries here. We have the projects. We have undrilled targets thanks to the opportunity that the government didn't give us title. Now we got the titles. So we're in a great position. Unfortunately, the perception has slipped. So it's hard to get people to come. So we can make a difference. Riverside's been able to develop these type of projects. Our team working together. We're keen to learn how can we make a difference and work with you. We'd really like to collaborate. How do we collectively make a difference in Mexico? We're committed to that. We're here. We like working here. And we see that these type of projects are the great opportunity. Choose to make a difference. Some people say, we hope out of what's going to happen in the election. Last night we were talking around beers and someone said, well, we'll hope this guy wins or hope Obrador doesn't or hope this or hope that. Well, we don't hope in exploration. We go out and do our exploration. We hope for success. But hope doesn't get us out there to do the samples. It's the work we're doing. It's the exploration, the ideas, putting it together. That's what makes the difference. That dedication that we do in our jobs, we can actually take to a higher level in communicating outward. When we go to Chihuahua, when we go to these other conferences, when we go and speak, these other events, we can actually explain that these changes are possible. They're happening. It's working. It is going well. We can communicate with the government. That's an action we can do. What are the things we can do? It's not in our control. It is in our control. We can communicate. We can go meet with them. How many of you have written letters to the government? That's awesome. Michelle has. I have. Yeah, I have to have it edited. I have to have it corrected. My Spanish isn't that great. But we write the letters to the government. Exactly. You communicate to them. So I request. We all go to Starbucks. We all get the coffee. While you do that, just pencil a letter. Send it to your governor. Send it to these people. Communicate. It will make a difference. In Canada, it's made a big difference. The money is flowing. They have this thing called flow-through financing. They've got these tax incentives. They've got all kinds of things there, and it really makes a difference. I was born in the U.S. I came to work in Mexico. I'm now chosen to become a Canadian. We still work here, but Canada is very inviting to that capital. I started the talk showing those slides of Vancouver, showing the slides of Toronto. That is 50% of mining capital goes through Canada. So we need to understand their perception can become our reality. If we can change their perception, our reality could be amazingly fabulous. Integra Gold made a great discovery up there, and they drilled down. They got bought out for huge amounts of money. They go, and then they move to Idaho. I'm like, Idaho? It's a great place to go fishing. And that's the place that the next growth companies are going. Look, we have the country of Mexico. People say, well, Mexico's not safe. I didn't have any problem coming here today. My son's here in the front row. Come on. We bring our family here. We're committed. We really can make a difference. Yeah, this is a passionate talk by passionate leadership. We are committed as a group, and we really can. We can join a mining action group. How many of you are part of the mining agency? Who's here as part of the AIM, the group here in Hermosillo? Well, there, yeah, so there. Some of them, exactly. That makes a difference. It's great. It's excellent. That makes a difference. Be part of those communities. Explaining, helping, makes a difference. You can change the perception. It isn't really just all about the rocks. It's about getting the capital to make the development of those rocks. That can make a difference. Right? Become a voice. Be a speaker in these different things. Learn and forward the best practices from other countries. Mongolia. We're compared with Mongolia. Pretty crazy, really. I mean, we're actually being compared with Guyana. Guys, it's pretty crazy. Bob's here on the second row, and we're talking about Guyana. It's like, it's a head scratcher, really, because it's not the reality. The reality is Mexico's great. The reality is it's an excellent place to work. The reality is we have the deposits. So we can adopt the best practices. The best practices of helping work with the mining companies, helping to work with the government, helping to work with the communities. We do that here. We can adopt them from other places and bring them here. So what can we do? There's 6 things we can do. I had a talk without this slide last night. Worked till 4 a.m. to make sure that I had, what can we do? I want to be part of what can we do? How can we learn? Be part of the Riverside team. Be part of the whole collective Hermosillo team, collective Sonora team, collective Mexico team. We want to be part of humanity, sustainability, making a difference in Mexico. We can. We're a prospect generator. Riverside puts together a portfolio, goes out to work for those projects. We've worked 30 years putting these together. On our cover of our company, we actually have this picture of the Peñoles community. I put a little red that kind of looks like a smiley face. Is actually the drawing of an open pit. We actually now got an open pit design on our, right on the cover of our project. We started with the project. We've done the work. We've done drilling. We now have a permittable, go forward, operable project. The perception is that Mexico doesn't have it yet. 70 kilometers to the south, Argonaut got going. They developed, they took over the Castillo mine from Castle Gold, which had taken over from Morgan Minerals. Morgan had worked here in Sonora. They took it over, developed it. Argonaut became very big, and then they started to diversify and to go outside of Mexico. So, guys, we can bring it back. We can keep it here. We can grow the companies. This type of project, the Peñoles project or Riverside, is a company grower, is a company maker type of asset. Riverside has 10 of these in the portfolio. We've worked through 44 projects in 11 years to find the very best projects. You guys have as well. We need to get these projects moving ahead. In the past, these were shooting off the plate, going forward, and they can again. I know we can really do it. So please come by our booth and talk about projects. Also, please come and explain how you see we can make a difference. I welcome learning. Knowledge is golden. You can make a difference. Thank you. I have a couple of minutes, so does anyone have a question? Please, Don.
I wanted to ask you about the role of the professional associations versus the individual exploration company owners. I mean, if you had somebody who was maybe from the Grupo Ball family, these multimillionaires, they'd have more of an impact than, these exploration companies where you got a couple people, they don't have much money, so they really don't have the time, and they're not even citizens to really have a strong voice, where somebody who's a Mexican citizen has a much bigger voice, and especially somebody from a very powerful family. But what do you see the associations, the professional associations doing, or CAMIMEX? Because I see those people as being our voice of all the providers and small companies operating in Mexico.
Yeah, so I think the families are definitely very communicative and very much involved in helping and part of the politics and pushing things forward. The company Candelaria Mining is a very exciting company. They have very good connections with some of the leader families and are trying to work on Caballo Blanco. I think Caballo Blanco will become a mine. I'm very positive about the potential. I think that the professional associations also have a good impact, and that there is a listening. And I think particularly there's a listening because there's so many employees. Riverside, we use all national people. We don't have any foreigners living here in Mexico. Everything is all national. We do everything local Spanish language, trying to do that. And I think the providers do that as well. They're communicating, particularly in Mexico City, going to the different events. The books here, the Mexico Review books, those are fabulous. And they're in 10 different industries as well, in aerospace and other things. They definitely are followed, and they make a difference. Attending the cocktails and networking with the government does make a difference. So Don's question is, what is the role, or what is the impact, or what can the smaller groups do? They have a big impact. They have a big impact in 2 ways. First off is the foreign perception I think that's the message of this talk is two messages. One is the foreign perception, to help them see how things can change. That Mexico is a good place to work. It isn't all dangerous. It isn't all corrupt. It isn't all bad. It's very good to work here, and things really do work. And those small providers make a big difference in communicating that to create the perception. The second message is the steps we can do here to communicate. The small providers are talking to many people. The big families are also very much affected by this, and they also want this change. We are aligned as an industry and as a group to all wish for these changes. Now we can align on taking footsteps to make those changes and do it. I know we can. And so thank you for that question, and I think we're all on track. Yes, you can, and they do make a difference in both sides. Thank you very much.